Yes. Come. Here, at last.
Hi,
You know
Juno.
our story now. Of how we tried. Of how we failed. All our hopes extinguished. Save one. Your touch. A spark. A spark to save the world.
Wait! Do not touch the pedestal.
It's Minerva. Minerva.
You. But how? You left. You destroyed the device.
Did you think there was only one?
What the hell is going on here?
You must not free her.
Oh. Oh, I knew it.
Juno dwells within these walls, awaiting release.
I figured it. I guessed it.
While we worked to save the world, she sought instead to conquer it. She used our machine to set her plans in motion. Divination through numbers. There is a pattern to existence. To comprehend the calculations is to tame time. This was my focus. And so I built the eye to aid us. But she turned it towards her own ends. When we discovered her treachery, we put a stop to it. And then we left. But first we called to you, that you might try again. We thought it would be safe with her gone. Now I see we were deceived. She survived, she endured, and then she began to work. For centuries, Tinny and I walked the world, hoping to rekindle the spark of civilization.
Oh, God.
We shared what we knew as best we could. We
Oh,
were
God.
not the only ones. But for all the power we wrought, still death would claim us. But before it did, I would have one last look to know if we had succeeded.
That's how you're here now?
I had hoped you might find this place and finish our work.
Uh-oh.
But it is too late. You and the Templars have squabbled over our refuse. You have wasted centuries, and so you have lost your chance. You cannot hope to stop the end now.
I knew
Only
it.
to survive.
She's lying. Only touch the pedestal and the world will be saved.
Better the world burn than she be loosed upon it.
Is that so? Show him then.
But he will not understand. It is complicated. It is...
Show me.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay.
If you heed Minerva, the sun will have its way. The ground will crack and spit fire into the skies. All the world will burn. But this does not end the world, merely heralds its arrival. Darkness follows. Then you emerge, resolving to lay a foundation that such a tragedy does not befall the world again. You will become a symbol to those who survive. Hope, knowledge, determination. You will inspire them to rebuild, to thrive once more. And as the world heals, so too will humanity. But you are just a man, frail and mortal. You pass from the world, leaving behind only a memory. A legacy. You will be remembered first as a hero, later as a legend, and in time, as a god. It is the cruelest fate to have written words that meant well, and see them made wicked and unwise. What was meant to encourage life, used instead to justify taking it. And so now you see that what was shall be again.
The endless cycle.
So tell me, how is this better?
Juno.
She would sacrifice you, sacrifice the world, for no other reason than to deny me vindication.
They will enslave your kind, Desmond. Is this not why you fight? Is this not why you came here? To ensure more than just your race's future, but its freedom?
What future? What freedom? Billions dead and the whole cycle begun anew?
This is crazy.
This world
This is
has known
awesome.
nothing but heartache and horror since we left it.
Do I have to make a choice?
Our gift to them, and you'd see it all returned.
Enough!
You must not do this.
Whatever Juno's planning, however terrible it might seem today, we'll find a way to stop it. But the alternative, what you want, there's no hope there.
If you free her, you'll be destroyed.
It will happen in an instant. There will be no pain.
You mustn't.
It's done, Minerva. The decision's made.
Oh my god.
And
What-
the consequences of this mistake are yours to live and die with.
You need to go. All of you. Now. Get as far away from here as you can.
Desmond.
Come with us. We'll find another way. There isn't time. Son. You know it's true. It's already started. I need to do this now. So go.
Oh, I knew it! I knew it! Come on, computer, stay with me. Stay with me. Did the sound go away? Nope.
It's some sort of global aurora borealis. Never seen anything like this before. Eyewitnesses describe electrical storms and erratic displays of unusual weather. Residents are being asked to remain inside and wait for geological surveys are now reporting seismic activity throughout.
Oh, you don't you dare, game!
Canada is said to be experiencing the largest on record. Satellites and transformers are failing as the
Oh my God.
increases in intensity. Worldwide reports of blackouts seems to be receding. Residual seismic and volcanic activity is being reported, but nothing approaching earlier levels. Obviously, it'll be a while before experts are able to assess
Wow.
the full extent of the damage caused by today's event. But it appears the worst is behind us. We'll be sure to bring you more as this story develops.
Oh my god.
It is done. The world is saved.
But how? It didn't even say.
You played your part well, Desmond. But now it's time that I played mine.
What? Oh my. Now I know. This whole thing was a plan of Juno's to... And now, in the next game, we get to see what... Oh, God. What a sequel hook, huh? The assassins... One way or another, this is the end of Desmond's story, and so it was. I thought I was going to have to make a choice between the two endings, but nope. Desmond was determined to save the world, and apparently he did. Now hand it into Juno's hands. Well, I'm going to keep watching the credits and see if there's any stingers after the end here. So now you've been through. Now you've seen my Let's Play. You've seen the whole game. I've seen the whole game, aside from whatever tidbits I go back and do later. With the, aside from whatever I go back and do later in terms of 100% completion. But yeah, that's it. Good game, but wow, that ending. It's I was thinking about the Mass Effect 3 controversy. Now, it's a game I haven't played, but it's one of those things where, you can't exactly miss it or not. You can't not see it, not know about it. If you're even slightly interested in the video game community. And, of course, the Mass Effect 3, they even went back and did some DLC to revise the ending because people were so, pissed at what happened, the choices that you had to make and so forth. Well, I can see people having a conniption over this ending. I can see people having conniption. I find it interesting. I mean, what really pisses me off is that it doesn't really explain. It doesn't actually explain how the world was saved. It just somehow Desmond's sacrifice gives Juno the power to shield the planet. Manipulate the auroras or something, manipulate the magnetic field to shield it against the flare. Or, it doesn't explain what happened at the end. And that's probably the part that pisses me off the most, is when a game doesn't explain what happened. So now I'm going to go to bed here in a little bit and turn this off once the credits roll, and I'm going to go to bed. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wonder to myself, when is Ubisoft going to explain all of this? My goodness. That's some crazy stuff. Well, at least the game will, after this, I suppose it will return me to the... I'll be able to go back and replay anything from the DNA menu that I missed, but... Although, interestingly, in story, there's a kind of a difficult time justifying that, given that Desmond is gone. I guess I hoped after all that he could somehow be saved, but nope. And I had thought that William might have been secretly working with the Templars, and this whole thing might have been a scheme. This whole thing might have been a scheme for Desmond's benefit to get him to, to hand stuff over to the Templars, and all the crazy stuff turned out not to be true. William was on the up and up. And it's interesting that the Templars, that William had talked about the Templars using the Animus to let people see other people's lives. That actually goes a long way toward explaining the premise of Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, the one set in Louisiana with Aveline. That actually does go to, since they've been working on that technology, that explains the concept. Because Ubisoft wants to be able to let people experience the memories of other people. I mean, listen to me, Ubisoft. Abstergo wants... Did I say Ubisoft? I'm tired. Abstergo wanted people to be able to experience the memories of other people's memories, and so commercializing that and using it to spread propaganda is the point of Liberation, which I understand. But now, what Juno said about storing yourself in a machine, and then, what resulted, the cost of doing it would be too much. Well, clearly, the cost of, obviously, putting your brain into a machine, which she clearly did, and then living for all those, all those millennia, coming out of the machine again, evidently involved sacrificing a person like Desmond. And the Templars are still around, free to do their thing. So what's the premise of the next game going to be? I have no clue. No clue at all. God, I feel drained right now. Never mind that my computer decided to, screw up demonstrate its pathetic weakness. What was that? Oh, my computer just went on. Oh, stupid. My computer just went to friggin' screensaver. That's funny. My computer went to flip over to screensaver there. God, I'm going to have like a 30-minute long episode to watch the credits. I'm just hoping there's something at the end that justifies watching all this. And you listening to all this, of course, if you're still here. I mean, if you know that there's nothing worthwhile after the credits and you're just, you know, then feel free to skip off of this, but I'm going to record. Wait for it to finish, see if there's any stingers or anything after the end that has any useful information. But yeah, I'm drained. I'm like, I feel like I've been beat up. But yeah, this is kind of like the first civilization. Remember when they dominated and enslaved mankind? Now Juno's going to run around and try her best to I guess she wants to re-enslave mankind with her as the supreme overlord, huh? There's certainly another game in there. Of course, the question is how the Animus will help us against that. I will admit Ubisoft took a little bit of a risk here by essentially, what I want to say here, they took the meta plot and kind of turned it on its head there, didn't they? I'm going to go online after this. Well, maybe not right after this. I may wait until tomorrow when I'm had a chance to rest. But I'm going to go and I'm going to see what the hell people said about this. Because there's got to be some people screaming at this ending. And people having very thoughtful conversations about the ending. And, you know, so we'll see. I'm curious. All the Spanish translations, right? All the different translations. Russian, Japanese, multiplayer, mocap stunt actors. Come on, we got to be close to the end of this. Games these days have just so many people involved. Jeez, so many. In-game music, music programming. Oh, they're crediting all the instruments. Well, of course, I guess that makes sense. Still. Featured musicians of blazing fiddles. Well, of course, because they got to record all the music from the colonial era. Funny, even the credits stutter a little bit. I guess just a recording thing. Okay, maybe I'll actually play with some video editing. I'll go re-record the battle with Hatham and then the conclusion of the confrontation with Hatham. That way I can cut it into the video, but if I do that, I'm only going to have a couple of days to pull it off before I have to upload the video. What, I put in about 2.5 hours of recording tonight? It's pretty good. So I knew I was close to the end. Oh, the Baker's Opera. Oh, so, yeah, of course it's a real thing. Of course it is. Oh, so they translated the opera into... That's funny. Excuse me. They translated the opera into all the different languages. That's funny. That's funny. God damn. They just keep coming. Is there a fast forward button on this baby? User Research Lab. In the world do they... What is a user research? I don't understand. Is that when they... Is that their focus group testing for the game? Like... Technology group, build database. Man, I so hate Juno now. It's funny, the whole notion of the world being cleansed by fire and starting afresh, it's really kind of biblical if you think about it. Isn't that what happened with Noah, supposedly? Wasn't that the whole point of Noah and his friends getting in the ark, and then God wipes out everybody on earth so that but the chosen few, so that they can attempt to rebuild society in a godly and holy fashion. Do it right this time, basically. That's what Minerva was talking about. That's what Juno said Minerva wanted. Same basic concept. I wonder, you have to wonder if the myth of Noah got mixed in human mythology with the fall of the first civilization. The idea that, again, a great catastrophe comes, cleanses the world of people, of the wicked, and then society rebuilds and everything's great for a while because everyone's all happy to, you get the savior and the people, everyone's all happy to try to rebuild everything and make everything nice, and then as the population recovers and the cities rise again, people will forget what they've learned and start being dicks to each other again, and then you have the whole thing all over again. Kind of makes you wonder. So what Desmond ultimately was doing, he was rejecting that cleansing and rebuilding. And it still doesn't answer the question of, was that the Templars' plan all along? Were they trying to do the mind control people into wishing the sun, were they going to try to mind control people into wishing away the apocalypse? Was that why they wanted it, the satellite? Did they know about the impending end of the world? And if so, why were they so blasé about it? I mean, they never actually answered the question. This game never actually answers the question of whether Abstergo knew about this. And I think, again, I said Ubisoft when I met Abstergo. I don't know what... It definitely raises the question, you know, again, did Abstergo know? How could they not have known? Was Juno and Minerva's plan so thoroughly, so perfect that nobody but the people in the line of the assassins ever figured out what, you know, the people in the line of the assassins, none of them ever figured out what the deal was? Nobody except them, I should say? God, if there was anybody playing a gambit on the world, it was Juno. And Minerva to a lesser degree. Juno dumped all Minerva's and Tinia's data disks into the abyss. It's like, she didn't want their knowledge, she didn't want them found. Okay, I really want to see if there's something after the end here. You're to be really super commended if you've sat through all of this and listened to me gab on. I just have to hand it to you if you've actually sat here and listened to... If you've watched the credits and listened to me talk over them. And I'll say this much... I just said I'll say this much and then didn't say anything. Well, hopefully I'll pick another game to do a Let's Play of. Not immediately, I don't think, because there's nothing immediately on the horizon that's new that I really want to play. Still got my World of Warcraft stuff to do. Got my Diablo 3, hopefully, to get back into in a little bit. Everyone's seen that, so I don't really see any need to Let's Play it. But if I find another property that I really want to do, another game that I really want to do, I'll start recording and put it up on my channel just like I did this one. Seeing lots of good stuff out there. Been watching Toby play Happy Wheels. Of course I play Minecraft all the time, but who knows if I can make... That's interesting only because Toby is so ridiculously funny. It's not like, you know, it's not like I'm a comedian the way he is, and I can make the playing of a game which is, you know, like that, super entertaining to anybody. Happy Wheels is good, but I don't know, I tried playing that a little bit, and it just, the controls just drove me nuts. I saw he's playing Far Cry 3. That's not out for PC yet, I don't think, so I may consider that. Dishonored, he never got through. Dishonored looks like a lot of fun. I know at least one other person that's playing it, so maybe I can do that. Dishonored might not be a bad idea. Walking Dead, I watched about halfway through Toby's Let's Play of that. So the problem is if I play Walking Dead, it would be like... I've been watching these credits for almost half an hour now. 20-minute long credits. So if I play Walking Dead, but I already know like the first half of the game. Now, admittedly, I'll probably make different choices, but I already know the broad strokes of the first half of the game. So maybe that's not the best idea. So, I don't know, we'll see. Oh, okay. Now we're getting into the powered by Adobe Flash. So, really, Adobe Flash? That explains why it's the whole game done in Flash. Somehow I don't think so. I guess it's just parts of it. Copyright. Duplicated. Yep. Well, we're here at the end of this amazing saga. Achievement unlocked. No good deed goes unpunished. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. No good deed doesn't... That is absolutely the truth. Oh! There is an epilogue! Ah, it was worth it, after all. It was worth it after all. God, he got really badly hurt, didn't he? Yeah, he's not going to recover his assassin abilities for a long time. It'll take him months or years to recover from that injury. Ouch. It's over. But Achilles' gravestone wasn't there when he... Okay, so is Achilles not officially dead yet? Man, what a sacrifice it took cost him. Cost him like everything, didn't it? Okay, we're in a cutscene now. God, he's oh, the hatchet. I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, you did something for the world, Connor. Look what you did. Look what you did for the world. You made a difference. As Juno said, you made a difference. Oh. Oh, I can run around now. Is that it? There's a homestead mission over here. And a story mission? Really? Well, let's do it. Let's see what this is. Can't help but be curious. Maybe I should stop and record a little bit more, given that there's clearly something to do here.
You won't lose your leg, that much I can promise you. But it will hurt some for a time longer.
The Battle of Trenton.
Looks worse than it is. Just keep it clean and you should be fine.
Okay, well, clearly there's more to do, and I'll take a look at it and see if there's. I'll come back here a little bit later, and I think this might be the DLC, or it might be some other material from the game. Okay, well, I'm done for tonight. I'll come back and take a look. Thanks everyone for sticking with me, and I'm glad there was an epilogue. But at this point, I may or may not record. I may record a little bit more after this, but I don't know if I'll post it. It depends on whether it's interesting. But we're done. Thank you for watching me play Assassin's Creed 3. Good night.